All right, everyone, welcome to the Third Touch Soccer Podcast. My name is Sam Leamy. I'm here with laughing Michael McLaughlin and stone-faced Connor
What's
Walsh.
up?
What's going on, lads?
Not a whole lot. Down here in Sam's basement. Time to record.
Connor.
How
What's
you
up?
doing?
All right,
How you
Sam.
doing, Michael? How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well, man. I'm in New York,
Yeah. How was your St. Patrick's week?
It was great. I was in, actually started on Saturday. I was in Chicago. The Saturday before, and I'd never been to Chicago. That was really cool to see. Just happened to be there for something else, and happened to all see the river turn green. It was really,
Yeah, St. Patrick's Day isn't that huge in England, and St. Patrick's Day every year here, it's 99% of Americans just are Irish for the day. Is this an excuse for drinking, or is actually everyone 99% Irish?
No, I don't know. All I know is I was on the Chicago. I was on the train there, and a mariachi band came in, but they're all dressed in Irish in Irish garb. So it's just whatever. Irish people are real inviting. Whatever. It doesn't. It's fun.
It's because they're fun, good, loving, nice, kind, drunk people.
If anyone can throw
That's
a
their
party,
pop.
it definitely is the Americans. And if they want to put on a show, they can put on a show instantly. I understand you have a little bit of trouble traveling, Mike, when you go abroad with that last name you got there.
Wait. Why are you introing these like Byron Allen? So, Mike, I understand you don't like toothpaste, and I got a bit on toothpaste. Yeah, fucking toothpaste sucks. I don't know, whatever. All right, but whatever.
It's in my notes, mate.
It's in your notes. Got to bring it up. Well, actually, Sam, hold on. Before I get to that, how was your St. Patrick's Day?
It was good. I have a story for you guys later, but I asked you the question first. So.
Oh, God damn it. All right. Yeah, I get stopped at the fucking airport every time I come back from Europe. I don't know fucking why. And if I'm with my dad, I get stopped for 2 hours because somehow we have the same names of some. We don't even know who they are. But I guess like we think it's like some IRA or old IRA guys. And it's a William McLaughlin and a Bill and Michael McLaughlin. We just have to sit there for like an hour and a half. But if we're traveling alone, I only get stopped. He doesn't get stopped. So
do they go through your luggage?
every time I come back from fucking Europe, not only do they go through my luggage, my bag's never there, and I have to get home, and then they send it to me, and it's been carved open with like a fucking knife.
Jesus.
Wow.
Actually, was that happened the last time? Yeah, it did happen when I came from England too. Yeah, it always.
Did you ever travel Aer Lingus? I'm sure they wouldn't do it then.
Well, yeah, they probably. Well, I don't know. They probably. I think it's done. I feel that whatever. I think those guys died. That's my feeling. I don't have any proof of that, but I'm just guessing. Because the one cop said, "Yeah, it looks like some stuff in the '70s." That's the one. Well, that was like years ago. So I'm hoping that I don't know. But I think, dude, actually, last time I was in England, I came back. I don't think there was any issues. I can't remember.
Well, I know you lost that passport that time you came to England.
Yeah,
Connor, ever had any airport issues?
Other than shaking like a child at the sight of Andrea Pirlo in the airport a few weeks ago. No, one time I got like wild hammered in Baltimore's airport and didn't have any money and had to ditch the bar. And I was like hiding in the bathroom stall waiting for my flight to board because I was like, yo, they're going to find me. Like, I'm either on a plane or in the airport. There's nowhere else I could be.
But what were you going to do? Run directly when they called your flight departing? You were going to run from that bathroom to the gate? There's cameras all over an airport.
I'm fast. Dude, I don't know. I was in college.
How many Long Island iced teas did you order?
Well, at this point, I drank an 18 rack of tall boys with my boy on the way to the airport. So we split 9 and 9 in the morning before the plane, and then had like two in Pittsburgh real quick. Got to Baltimore, needed to continue for the culture, and I couldn't charge it to the culture, unfortunately, at this point in my life. I didn't have enough money for that.
Connor, hold on. How many Long Island iced teas did you have at the bar in Baltimore?
Like 4, so like $60.
So like $60, and you just walked out on a bill.
Yeah, it's my bag too. I ran out.
And they didn't catch you.
No, I'm fast.
All right.
That was
and
bad.
Then what happened? And what would happen if somebody did that at the bar you work at right now? Try to walk out on a $60 tab.
At the bar I worked at?
Yeah, work out right now.
It'd be over for them.
'Cause why?
Because they're stealing.
I thought you could say because I'm fast.
Yeah, great not to be that Irish. But anyway, a lot of Brazilians in the news this week. Pele's son has been convicted for 12 years for drug trafficking, and Pele's sticking by him. I'm not too sure why he's doing it. Pele's all sad and shit, I guess. I don't know. I mean, this kid's a professional player for Santos. He has to, move some drugs around the
Santos
country
right now.
Well, not now. He's playing for Prison FC right now.
Yeah, he's playing for Traficante FC.
That's a squad, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's sad, and Pele stuck by him. Apparently there was rumors a few years ago, but he's actually been convicted and he's gone down for moving a bunch of drugs.
Pele's just upset because now his plug's in jail. And Pele, his son was the plug.
Wait, what?
Never mind. You guys are so old. His son was selling him drugs. And now his son is in jail. That's the only reason Pele's upset. Think Pele loves his son? No.
Wait, did you say I'm so old? I didn't know what the word plug meant.
The plug.
What the plug is? What's the plug mean?
The plug is the hookup.
Really?
I don't know this shit.
I didn't know that shit either.
Dude, this is like generational.
I didn't know that shit either.
Wow.
What are you gonna start playing us some trap music now and tell me how great it is?
Yo, shout out to Drake dropping the album yesterday for all my young listeners. More Life.
Is it good? The new
so
Drake.
Fire, dude. Drake
Drake
did it.
album.
Dude, Drake did it, son.
I can't afford it. Can you get me a
bootleg?
Oh, forget it. A plug.
Yo, I'll have the plug send it to you. Edinho.
Dude, yeah. I do think officially though we've passed the like. I don't think I've ever turned MTV on in like 7 years.
No.
I don't think I've turned it on. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I don't think anyone's turned on MTV in 7 years.
No one turns on, right? Okay, all right.
Yeah, no more Jersey Shore.
Jersey Shore, that was the last time I probably watched it. Yeah.
I like Pimp My Ride. Pimp My Ride was alright. Kind of like that. We had on the English version of Pimp My Ride, Tim Westwood. I showed you those videos, right?
Yeah, I loved it.
Tim Westwood's a nut, yo.
You love Tim Westwood, right?
Yo, fam, it's Tim Westwood.
He's legit though. Tim Westwood.
He is. Yeah. He's as far as British. Every rapper that goes to London stops and sees Tim Westwood. Every American rapper. So like he's big. He's like as big as it gets over there.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably pushing now. He's probably in his late 40s, early 50s now. But
the Carson Daly of hip hop in London.
I have no idea that artists released albums at time of day now. Not even a day. It's like
Drake has the online radio show where it's streaming live.
Right.
It was live streaming, son. OVO Sound
really?
Radio.
Sick.
Yeah, it was sick, dude. He drops it at one time. Everyone listens in. He's talking.
Everything's so instant now. It's like Facebook
weird,
Live, Twitter Live, Instagram Live. I tried to do a Facebook Live down in Yankee Stadium the other day. I had no idea what I was doing.
Dude, we did Instagram Live in Orlando for the first time, and that was a movie because it tells you who's watching, and people can like type. It was sick, dude.
Yeah, they ask you questions.
I'd never done it before. All my followers, all my friends were tuning in. It was cool.
There was 2 people following us.
Yeah.
But anyway, Pele's son Edinho incarcerated for 12 years. Another Brazilian, Bruno Fernandes de Souza. Did you hear about this, Mike? The goalie who fed his girlfriend to his dogs has been released from prison after 7 years. Totally didn't pay his debt to society, but because of a technicality, he's allowed to sign for a second division Brazilian club, and he's the starting goalkeeper now.
And he murdered his girlfriend and fed her to dogs?
Yeah, she's stunning as well. She's a stunning...
And she's hot?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
I mean, it's regardless, but, there's been professional footballers in England who have spent time in prison for grooming young ladies and are unable to find a club because of their reputation. Now, this guy has walked straight into a second division team quickly. Boa Esporte, 2-year contract. I guess the supporters and the fans denouncing the move, but the club are backing him. You know, a guy who was meant to go to the 2010 World Cup, I heard.
What if this guy, when he gets done with the game, he meets a girl out of the bar, and then they start dating or whatever. And it's like, what happened? What was your last relationship?
I think some girls like it. I mean, the whole Charles Manson thing. I didn't even know Charles Manson was still alive, but he convinced numerous girls to go on this killing spree with him and have that following. I don't know. There's got to be one. There's got to be.
So creepy.
They always say there's someone out there for you.
Dude, it's so creepy. Shut the fuck. You gotta believe in love, man. Even for murders. I'd fuck that guy. He shouldn't even be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely out of prison and. Nah, that's gross. I just, I read that article and it was, the only thing I didn't like is that they were like misogyny has no limits. It's no ends, no bounds. I'm like, this is just a crazy person. This has nothing to do with like hating women. It's just like, this is just, this guy, come on. I mean, and this is the same country where that the referee got murdered and.
Yeah, that was when I was actually in Brazil. Yeah, the referee ran up to a player, stabbed him. Then the fans ran onto the field. They cut his head off and put it on a stick. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's is
that like
insane.
Up in the north? Is that up in the north of Brazil? Like where
it's
are
such a
these?
Huge country. I don't know. I don't know where that club is actually.
A lot of passion.
I mean, I love Brazil. I spent a month there. It was great. The people are super friendly.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I mean, I thought I found love, Mike, and this was my St. Patrick's Day the other day.
Oh yeah, how was that? What happened?
Well, I was seeing this girl a couple of months ago. Her name was but I was working St. Patrick's Day happy hour, and then I had a couple of co-workers that wanted to grab a drink after. And I was like, jokingly, I was like, let's go to this bar next to my bar, and it's a bikini bar. And it's, it's not like it's like a dive bikini. It's not like a scary dive bar, bikini bar. It's like just around the corner, and it's my friend Mark Adam, his wife, like loves the bar, and she's a teacher. But anyway, regardless,
I love you're not saying people's names, but you're just saying like the most upstanding people's names. I'm
just gonna confuse everyone. I got to throw someone's name under the bus here. So I get off work, I go next door. And lo and behold, it's a girl that I dated a couple of months ago for I don't know, a couple of weeks. And
never mind.
We just stood there in silence. She looked at me, obviously embarrassed. I'm obviously not going to say her actual name, but her work name was Bambi.
Oh, you never told me that.
Really?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we stare at each other. I'm frozen. I'm with two workers.
Who is this? Who was?
I'll tell you after the show.
It's Bambi, bro. It's Bambi.
Bambi.
All right.
So I'm standing there with two co-workers, and it was just really awkward straight off the bat. And she's awkward. It's just the whole silence. And her manager or pimp I don't even know what. Someone next to her was like, "You okay?" And we're just like staring at each other's eyes. We don't say a word to each other. I was like, Miller Lite and 3 J-Bos, please.
Yo, so what do you think was going through her head?
I mean, we've texted since,
but that is such a shocking moment because obviously she didn't want you to know about this new profession she had, and you walk in on her mid-job, mid bikini performance, and have the audacity to order drinks from her.
And the thing is, she was obviously uncomfortable the whole time there, and I go up, grab the drinks, and we go sit at a table, and then another friend comes, texts me, and swings by, and I was actually having a really good conversation. I ended up staying there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, not even realizing that she was bartending, and she's really uncomfortable the whole time. She's got to walk out the back, collect glass. It's just bad. But yeah, that was my St. Patrick's week.
Well, I mean,
I'm not gonna feed her to the dogs.
Yeah, all right.
Right?
I'm like trying to figure out who it was, and I think I know. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Anyway, let's get on to some soccer, guys. This is a soccer podcast after all, but I want to talk about the Champions League for a little bit. I know you want to go on to the squad for the upcoming 2 internationals for the USA. I want to touch base on the England squad. A lot of injuries, some surprise call-ups. But Champions League this past week, Leicester at home to Sevilla, and Monaco at home to Manchester City. So Leicester City are the final English club waving the flag in this year's Champions League. They lost 2-1 away. Claudio Ranieri's last game, Jamie Vardy getting the all-important away goal. They come back to Leicester, and I remember we talked about on the last pod, Leicester had a good shot at this. Craig Shakespeare came in, back-to-back wins in the Premier League, good performances. Raheem Mahrez, Jamie Vardy, they all seem to like they're back together and playing well like they did last season. The confidence is back. They ran out 2-0 winners against Sevilla, and Kasper Schmeichel, the goalkeeper, had a brilliant game, saved another penalty. But his father in the stadium watching the game, was this a surprise to you, Connor, this result? Or did you expect Leicester to pull this out of the bag?
I thought going into the tie, Leicester had zero chance.
No, dude, no, I'm not getting bored about Leicester. I just clicked on and Chris Wondolowski was just added to the U.S. Men's World Cup team.
All right, we'll talk about that a little bit later. Breaking news.
Sorry. That was the saddest way to break up. Sorry. I just like, fuck.
But yeah, Leicester.
Sorry, my bad.
Leicester City, the Foxes. No, I don't know, because when that tie came out, Sevilla was doing so well in Spain, and Leicester was obviously horrendous in England, and I thought Sevilla would wash them. But after the first tie, it's, anything can happen in a game of soccer, and they got the job done away at Sevilla, and I thought there was a legitimate chance, and they pulled it off. The game kind of came at the right time for them as far as their form.
I thought Leicester put on a great performance. The crowd were behind them. It seemed like they had that togetherness that they had last season. It was good to see. Again, Leicester celebrating, jumping around, and going into the quarterfinals. And, like I said, they are the last English team waving the flag in this Champions League, and no one expected them to get this far. With Man City going out, winning the first leg against Monaco 5-3, and losing that second leg 3-1, which I thought was highly expected, because Monaco have an 18-year-old French striker, Mbappe, who is one of the best players in Europe right now. I think he's phenomenal. And he's easily going to be a 200-300 goal scorer in Europe in his career. What do you think the problem is with these big English sides in Europe now? Because 10 years ago, they were making up 50% of the quarterfinals, and now Arsenal's development in Europe is very slow. Manchester United figured it out under Alex Ferguson. Man City, they've figured out the Premier League in the last few years. But in Europe, these teams in the last 3, 4, 5 years have really struggled to get to the last stages.
Yeah, I think, I thought about this a lot. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. All the other European countries have a winter break while England is playing extremely congested matches.
But 10 years ago, they had the winter break as well.
I know that, but it's a contributing factor. I think tactics have gotten. I don't think the English clubs are as tactical as Italian clubs, Spanish clubs, German clubs. Well, definitely not Spanish clubs, but even Italian teams, they're not as exciting to watch. It might not be as good, but they play way more tactical. They play way more systematic, and I think that you need a more systematic approach to the European game as compared to the Premier League game. I think it's two different styles of play, and the English clubs have not adjusted to the standard of top European clubs. And I think in general, the English clubs just play too many games thrown in there.
I think also, too, just the bottom. We always had this debate, but the bottom of the English league is probably the strongest of any league. So, and the physicalness that the English players have to go through and the amount of players you have to play, I just don't think the other leagues, their bottom 5 teams can compete with England's bottom 5. That's those are 5, 6 games you got to go away and play there, and it's just I think it's taxing on the English teams.
Do you think, guys? Do you think the best players in the Premier League are spread out between more clubs than they are in other leagues? Like Bayern Munich pretty much have a monopoly of the best players in Germany, but in England, this is one of the reasons why the big TV deals have come about, is because the competitiveness between the games, you don't really know what's going to happen week in, week out. Like 10 years ago, you would see Man United, Chelsea beating teams down 6-0, 5-0. It was pretty much a given, And now we're seeing like a different title winner every year. In Italy,
something that's great about the English game, which I think was the point you're getting to, is that it seems like essentially every Premier League team has one or two exciting, extremely talented players. You look at Marcos Alonso last year coming from Sunderland to Chelsea. To be honest, I don't remember him last year in Sunderland, but he's obviously good enough to be starting for Chelsea now, and has been an integral part of their team that's going to win the title. And I think that the talent and the distribution of talent is just spread way more evenly in England, where you can have, like Lukaku. Lukaku is one of the best strikers in the world, and he plays for Everton. Mm-hmm. Like, you just don't see that in other countries where you have a top player playing for a mid-level club, which is, the English game, I think, is just more competitive, and it's more, physically and mentally taxing, which is why when the Champions League comes around, these teams seem to struggle. But it's it's just all speculation. It's really hard to figure out to pinpoint it, because it's inexcusable that Leicester is the furthest team, the furthest English team got.
Do you think Dortmund is a better team than Chelsea and City and Arsenal?
Yes,
I think yes, and
they're tactically better too.
My question to you guys is, do you think the best players are even coming to the Premier League? Because we've seen superstars, come to the Premier League. Di Maria, Ozil, they played for huge clubs. Are they surplus to requirements at Barcelona and Real Madrid? Is the Premier League like a cash cow for these clubs? It's like a retirement for some of these players. Why isn't Di Maria good enough to play for Real Madrid? He was their player of the season, but he was surplus to requirements for Real Madrid.
He left because they wanted to rise the James. They wanted to rise the James hype after the World Cup, and they had to get rid of someone, and that meant Di Maria. Mm-hmm. Di Maria was great for them. He started almost every game for them. He was a regular first 11 player, and I don't think that they're surplus players that are not good enough.
Also, too, I don't feel like England develops enough youth players that really stay that really move up the ranks compared to
they do develop
Spain or Germany.
They're just not allowed. They just can't get in to the big clubs, and Tottenham are allowing the younger English players to play in the club, but in order to get to play for Chelsea, to play for Arsenal, to play for Man City, they get loaned out to lesser European clubs to then try and get back in the Premier League. So you're in the Premier League, you have to leave the Premier League to get back in the Premier League. Like, Chelsea have 30 players out on loan right now. It's crazy how that's set up. I mean, I want to go back in history a little bit. I mean, in the late 60s, 70s, 80s, like, English teams were great in Europe. Like, Forest won, back-to-back European titles. Manchester United won it in the late 60s. Liverpool won European Cups in the 80s. And then the Heysel disaster happened in the late 80s, which was a European match between Liverpool and Juventus in Belgium, where the Liverpool fans...
It was the Champions League final, right?
It was... Was it the Champions League final or the UEFA Cup? Or it's semi-final? It could have been the final.
It was the final because it was at a neutral site. Yeah, it was in Belgium.
And English fans got banned for like 4 or 5 years.
English teams did, right?
All English teams between, I think, 88, 87, 88 until 91. So they... European players weren't coming to England. They had to start all over again to figure out the European competition. Then the early 90s happened and the Champions League started. So Manchester United were the dominant team in the 90s, and it gradually took Alex Ferguson numerous years to figure it out. Every year he would get better and progress further. He would struggle to get out of the group stage, then he would get to the quarterfinals, get knocked out there next season, get to the quarterfinals again, then the semifinals, and then
really
eventually...
it's all United that really came from.
They won it. So that whole setup of going to Europe and going to these foreign countries, it was new to a lot of English teams.
Yeah, like what English teams have really made it to the finals or won? You have United, Liverpool 2005
in Champions League. Chelsea,
Champions League.
Chelsea, but they dominated. It was
Chelsea
one,
was,
one
that was
year. I think
2011?
It was 3 English clubs in the semifinal.
Yeah, it was Liverpool, Chelsea in one semi-final. Man United. That was 2008. Yeah.
When did Drogba get that goal? Was that 2013?
2012.
2012.
Yeah, I was on my senior trip.
So really, there hasn't been a track record. If you take United out, there's not that big of a track record of England teams performing that well.
Liverpool.
Anyway.
Liverpool reached back-to-back European Cup finals in the and they're
in the 70s, right?
No. In 2005, 2006, they beat AC Milan.
And lost to AC Milan.
I know they won 05. Yeah,
and they did really well for a few years. They just figured it out. But I think one of the other reasons is maybe I'm wrong. I think the priority is the Premier League to finish in that top 4 for some reason, and they don't take these European competitions as seriously as Borussia Dortmund, as Bayern Munich, as Juventus.
I watch every Dortmund game, and I tell you, it's an easier. I think it's an easier league than the Premier League. I think it's easier. I mean, Dortmund also. I mean, I don't think an English team could have 4 18-year-olds and a 19-year-old playing that they would even let it happen. I don't. It
probably wouldn't. And to add on to Sam's point about English clubs not making it a priority. I don't know if I'm willing to make that claim, but I will say, like, Real Madrid, their entire club philosophy is to win the Champions League. Mm-hmm. That's what they do. They sign the biggest players in the world to make this ridiculous squad to win the Champions League. That's what their entire club is focused about. Yeah. And, like, Jose Mourinho kind of has a reputation as a manager. Is a manager that's going to win you the Champions League, which is the biggest club competition. So I don't know.
But I don't think like
I just don't think they're prepared enough.
I don't think
the English clubs are prepared enough.
Are expected to win the Champions League.
No.
Real Madrid, Barcelona are expected to win the Champions League. I know this is a different point. The Europa League is a kind of a nuisance for English clubs, and Sevilla took it as a privilege to play in the Europa League, and they won it 2-3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. Sevilla. Like, why shouldn't Tottenham, on the same level as Sevilla, take that competition? I know the players on the field are taking it seriously, but I think maybe as a manager's point of view or a money point of view, because the TV deals are so big in the Premier League, it's bigger than the Champions League. It's bigger, the TV deals. And to finish in the top 4 and to get those, primetime games a year after from a business, and even as a manager to secure your job, if you finish in the top 4 and get knocked out of the Champions League in the quarterfinals, that's acceptable.
Do you also think, like, culturally, it's just Europa League is kind of like frowned? Like, English teams have a very high opinion of themselves, that they should be. I mean, that they do. They should be. They know they're not on par with Real Madrid and Barcelona, but they're like.
But why shouldn't they be?
I think they. I mean, they were. United was. I felt like back in 2009, 2010, right?
Yeah, I mean, Barcelona. I mean, that's a great generation of Barcelona players that came in the mid 2000s to now, and they were hard to compete against. But I believe in 2008 we were a better team than Barcelona, and we beat them over 2 legs. We actually dominated the game in the Nou Camp and outplayed them at Old Trafford. It was only a 1-0 aggregate score. Paul Scholes scores that goal, and we played Chelsea in the final. But 2 years later, less than 24 months later, Barcelona are a totally different team. Totally played us at Wembley Stadium and destroyed us 3-1.
Yeah, but also too, it's like why do all the English players or anyone that becomes big, they want to end up being at Real Madrid, Barcelona? I don't know if you can. I mean,
they're just like a different tier. It's just like it's almost bigger than them. Just like people say, like the Spanish game is better, or like the La Liga is better, but you almost have to remove Real Madrid and Barcelona out of that because they're just like straight up super clubs that like transcend their own league. And that's why I think that they're so suited for the Champions League is because they're literally too big for their own domestic leagues. And
then look at Atletico Madrid is up there too. So it's
not quite the same level historically, but they're a very, very big, recently a very successful club.
Yeah.
But these English players, like the mid-tier, the Mark Nobles, the Ross Barkleys, the mid-level like English players that are on the verge of getting in the England team. That Danny Drinkwater, we can throw him in the mix. But these players,
Scott Dan for England.
these guys aren't going to go to mid-level Spanish teams. They're just not going to do it because they're so comfortable with playing in the Premier League. That's where maybe the problem lies. There's not enough average English players going abroad. It's just those superstars. It's the Beckhams, the Michael Owens, the Gareth Bales.
But what does that have to do with English clubs being good in the Champions League? They're saying now they're going to come back to the Premier League and be better from playing at a mid-level Spanish club?
More experience, maybe? Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
And English players just aren't as good.
That might be it.
Well,
I agree.
English players aren't that good, but the English teams have the resources to be... They should be competing more so in the Champions League. And I think it's embarrassing for all these top clubs. Just like last year, it was embarrassing for them not to win the league. For like, the Arsenals, the Chelseas, Chelsea wasn't even in the race, but Man City, Liverpool. To have Leicester win that league, it is embarrassing for like the front offices and the board of directors and whatnot. And now in the Champions League, when English clubs have been ridiculed for years now, and now Leicester is the club to get to the farthest, like, I think there has to be a change in approach from the top clubs because, a club like Man City, like, there's no excuse whether or not... Well, they're in the semifinal last year, to be fair.
But Connor, outclassed by Monaco. Even if, regardless of they won the first leg 5-3, they were outclassed by Monaco.
Over 2 legs.
Over
yes,
180 minutes.
100%.
Outclassed by an 18-year-old. And a bust from the Premier League, Falcao.
It's a different situation, to be fair.
But these teams aren't only getting
Why is it a different situation? I don't
Because
understand.
Falcao is coming back from injury. Falcao is coming back from injury, playing in a way harder, challenging league to find form, and now he's in France.
So now we're saying that Premier League is a harder, challenging league.
I think the French league, yes, but that doesn't mean French clubs, the top French clubs, aren't more tactically astute.
So this is what I feel like with all sport, especially soccer. It seems like if you're getting a lot of playing time and you're getting a lot of confidence, you play better against the best when it's on. But if you go in the Premier League and you get knocked around all the time and you're not getting on the squad and you're injured and you can't get in there and the fans boo you and it's just like ugh. And then I feel like they go away and then they kill it and then they beat the English team in the Champions League. Does that make any sense? They're
resoundingly beating them. Like we just talked about Man City, but Arsenal getting absolutely destroyed, outclassed.
When Arsenal moved to the Emirates, one of the quotes was, "We want to be able to compete with Bayern Munich." That was like one of the teams that they said. So now here we are, over 10 years since the stadium, 11 years since the stadium move, and you're losing to Bayern Munich 10-2 over 2 legs. Like this has nothing to do with me being an Arsenal fan, but that is pathetic as far as an English club. Like they finished second in the league last year, losing 10-2 over 2 legs. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And I think, Arsenal aside, English clubs in general need to change something about their approach to the Champions League.
Also, and I don't think the managers are experienced enough in the Premier League. Like Pep Guardiola, as good as manager he is, he needs to figure out the Premier League and the Champions League at once. It can't be... He can't walk in. He didn't realize how tough the Premier League was going to be when he came. He's already admitted that. But to figure that out, as well as the tough schedule of 2 domestic cups and the Champions League, that's crazy for him. He's never done that before. As good as a coach he is, it took Ferguson 10 years to figure it out, and he's one of the best coaches of all time. No excuses for Wenger, so I'm not going to defend him, but I'll defend Pep Guardiola. I'll defend, Pellegrini, who I think is a good coach as well. They're just not in the job long enough to figure it out in their club. And Jose Mourinho, he's known for winning big games, and that's why he's known as a good coach and a big game coach. Definitely. I say if you threw Man United in that Champions League this year, I don't think they're getting turned over like Man City or Arsenal did, just because Mourinho's in there and he kind of knows the Premier League and the Champions League as well. That's my opinion. I could be wrong.
No, I think you're right. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, I'm not as I'm still. I feel like a novice, even though I've been watching soccer 15 years or whatever. But it just seems that the English teams do not perform. They don't look as fast, they don't look as good in the Champions League. But then you're right. All these players then go to England, some of them, and they just don't perforn well.
Yeah, they look sluggish. They look off the pace, and the way Monaco played against Man City. But I mean, Leicester are there. They had heart. They played with all their heart, and it
was the Leicester of old, like fast counters, immediate pressing. But I don't understand. Like, it's such a simple style to play. Not that it's physically taxing and mentally taxing, but I don't know how.
I mean, there's no doubt Sevilla were the best side over two.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt. They should have been 3-4 up in the first half of the first leg, but to get a 2-1 defeat, you can't ask for much better at Sevilla for Leicester City. And we predicted Leicester City going through into the next round. I think they have a very good draw in Atletico Madrid, and I think they have every chance to get through to the semi-final.
Well, it's going to be interesting because it's two very similar styles of play as far as aggressiveness, counter-attacking, good defensively, high pressure. So it's interesting because those two teams, more or less might cancel each other out. But I think Atletico's overall class will, shine through. But it's going to be an interesting two-match series.
Yeah, well, good week in the Champions League. But yes, there was another big MLS week.
Week 3 in the books.
Week 3. The attendance is up, I saw today, by 1.63%.
Well
and
done,
I think
lads.
that's all due to Atlanta FC, who are absolutely bringing in the fans. I think what a great franchise they are. Seattle also playing at home, drawing 45,000. Really cold couple of weeks at Yankee Stadium. 25,000 the first week, 21 this week.
Lowest crowd since they started playing it.
I think it was the temperature, but I know you have a little MLS segment. I'm gonna produce a little musical background.
Okay,
for you
I like that.
day.
Yeah, so here's Uncle Connor's MLS corner, real quick.
Should we pause for the music?
All right, sick.
Yeah.
So I'm actually going to start off with some CONCACAF Champions League for our listeners. FC Dallas won their first leg.
Can you explain to some European listeners what the CONCACAF Champions?
So to our European listeners and to our American listeners who don't know that there is a Champions League for our continent, we have a Champions League. We do, in fact, have a CONCACAF Champions League. MLS teams are featured in it through various qualification processes. Currently, it's in the semifinal, and FC Dallas and Vancouver are currently in the semifinal. This week was the first leg of the semifinal, and Calvin Acosta, upcoming young USA midfielder, banged a very nice free kick winner against Pachuca from Mexico. So they're in good shape heading into leg 2, and this is a competition that no MLS club has ever won. And
didn't Montreal get to the final?
Montreal got to the final 2 years ago, and which was a very impressive run because during that time they were like the worst or second worst team in Major League Soccer. However, Calvin Acosta scored a very nice free kick. They beat Pachuca 2-1. Calvin Acosta is going to be a legitimate player that we're going to see in MLS and for the national team going forward. His ascendancy. What's up? He might be. Yeah, he might start come this Friday. Yeah, because he scored a goal for FC Dallas in the MLS already this year too, and he's off to a very good start. Tigres beat Vancouver Whitecaps 2-0 in Mexico. Tigres were the Mexican champions last year. Me and Sam actually watched the final of the Mexican League Christmas night.
Yeah, it was.
We hit the piss, watched the penalties, and then the next day was Boxing Day, which for us is an important milestone because that was when we released episode 1, the good old days of the Third Touch podcast.
That was probably our worst episode. That we
it was dreadful. I was so hammered. But on to MLS, Major League Soccer, Week 3, yay. NYCFC won, Montreal won. Rodney Walls continues his good start for City. Damaduro equalized in the second half, scored a very nice goal for Montreal. Brought the ball down on his chest between the two center backs, slotted it past Sean Johnson. I have a question for Sam. How good do you think, after watching Jack Harrison this season, what do you think his ceiling is?
I mean, I rate Jack Harrison pretty highly. 20-year-old from Manchester United Academy, comes over to Manhattan Soccer Club, goes to Wake Forest for a year. First-round draft pick. And seeing him for the first 3 games, I think he's been so explosive over the first 45 minutes. And I don't know if it's whether he hasn't got more tricks in his bag for the second half or in the last stages of the game, and the other coach has kind of figured him out. Because I know he got doubled up against Orlando, but he seems like he causes teams all sorts of problems for the first 45 45, 60 minutes of the game, and then he just goes silent. So I think that's part of his game that he needs to work on, his overall 90-minute play. But I think he has numerous skills, tricks in his bag. The field of play at NYCFC this past weekend was worse than when we went to the home opener. And keeping that ball controlled close to your feet and doing those step overs, he's tearing players up left, right, and center. Yep. He has potential, but I think for him, in order for him to develop, he has to leave New York City. He has to leave that field. He has to be playing on better fields regularly. And he's got 16, 17 more home games. And I think for his development for a 20-year-old, he's just not going to get it there. So I think he needs to move either this season or very soon.
Loan move or a permanent deal do you think he could play in the Premier League right now? Do you think he's good enough to be signed by a Premier League club and maybe play for the under-23s and potentially earn a spot with the first team?
I don't think he's ready to start for a Premier League team. I think he's ready to be an impact player for a Premier League team.
Do you think he's that good right now at 20 years old?
Yes, I think he is. I think he's definitely old.
That was going to be my question. Is this the beginning of players actually getting call-ups to the European squads while they're playing in the MLS?
No, I don't think they expect it, and one reason why, because the MLS isn't there yet. I know how much I like the MLS and how much it's developing right now, but in the news this week, England announced their squad. Jermaine Defoe, 34 years old, has been recalled to the England side. I mean, I don't think it's good enough. You can pick any kid, any fucking kid. You pick that kid from Everton, what's he called?
The young dude, scored this weekend.
Yeah, the blonde-haired dude. But any kid,
Tom Davies.
Tom Davies. Any kid. I know he's not an out-and-out striker, but it's a 34-year-old, and Jermaine Defoe came to the MLS a couple of years ago in 2014, and he got picked last in 2013. But he said that was the worst decision he ever made because he didn't get into the World Cup squad in 2014. He didn't get into the Euro squad 2016. And I'm not saying he was the best striker in England. Harry Kane was head and shoulders above him the last few years. But he was second, third, fourth. He was in the top four.
As far as English strikers?
Absolutely. But now, 34, his time, I think, has come and gone. But no, lo and behold, Sir Gareth of Southgate picks up the phone. Hey, Jermaine, want to play next week? Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Come on.
Sam, can I ask you one question? Is there a player playing in the MLS right now that you would actually be excited if he was called up to the England team? Maybe a Javinko or something like that. Is there a player playing the MLS right now that you'd be like, wouldn't that actually...
I think, honestly, Jordan Morris had a monster game this past weekend for Seattle. I think he could be the complete package. And I've heard on SiriusXM from some pundits to say he's not good in the air or, they're ready to criticize him. But that header, how he rose head and shoulders above that defender, his shoulder side, he's just getting bigger, he's getting faster. And this is 24 months in the MLS, not even.
Yeah, he's amongst the goals and assists almost every week. He's a legitimate star.
David Villa could walk into the England squad. Are you kidding me? David Villa could walk into that England squad right now, 100%. If we're calling up a 34-year-old Jermaine Defoe, David Villa's 33, 34?
32, right? I think. I don't know.
No, I think it's 33. Look that up, Connor. But come on.
Think too, but you say it's Jordan Morris. Jordan Morris might be the most athletic player in the whole MLS.
He looks kind of weird though. His shoulder size is getting big.
It's too big.
David Villa is 35 years old.
35.
All right,
but
35.
He's Spanish, so he's like 33. But yeah, so I just wanted to, I think I know this isn't just coming from an NYCFC supporter, but Harrison going first in the draft last year has been an absolute star so far. Finished up as runner-up to Rookie of the Year last year. And just seeing him this year, he's been arguably the best player on the pitch almost every game, it seems. And it'd be interesting to see if, coming from the Manchester United Academy, playing for a few years in the MLS, and then moving over to England, it's a whole different story as far as an academy player coming to play in, American prep school, getting signed by a huge American college, and then being a star in the... You know what I mean? It's just a route that we haven't seen yet to the Premier League.
And he's actually encouraged other players to follow suit as well. So we'll see what happens with his development. But I really think
funny?
he has to get
actually
off that pitch.
That tags onto what you were talking about before, how the Premier League has become the superstar league. That you're so bad, you have to go. Even if you get signed by one of these big clubs, you get loaned out to Netherlands or whatever, and maybe these kids are like, well, why not just go to an academy, live in America? It's it's more of an English, way of life. It's, I don't have to learn a new language, and if it's, could become more of like a popular thing.
And he was a cool guy when we met him.
Wicked
cool guy.
Yeah,
absolute cool guy. Cool guy. Preppy guy. I heard he's got a ton of money, but Pirlo's just. He can't play on that field. I've seen, even though it was a good performance against DC United, but Montreal went toe-to-toe for them, so they deserved a point from that game.
Yep. On to more games. Atlanta United 4, Chicago Fire 0. Atlanta United continues their pretty impressive hot start. Looked like more of the same old Chicago. I watched this game with lovely Spanish commentary on Unimas. It's great. Takes the MLS to a whole different level. Brandon Vincent scores an own goal. Haven't seen him in the national team picture since he also got a Stanford call-up with Jordan Morris. The Venezuelan DP, Joseph Martinez, scored a brace. 5 goals in 3 matches. Some writers are already saying maybe Golden Boot winner, which is kind of ridiculous for a new player in a club that's brand new, but whatever. But they're legit, man. They're a legitimately talented team. They have done a great job building that squad from top to bottom. The South American young DP looks like that's the smartest bet you can have in MLS right now. I mean, even Maxi Morales, who isn't the youngest player, who New York City FC made a DP, he's been very good so far. It seems like that's the new route that the league's gonna go in, and Atlanta United made the right decisions doing that. But yeah, they won 4-0. Little Canadian derby, Vancouver 0, Toronto 2. Breck Shea got a hilarious red card for.
What happened?
The ref gave him a yellow, and Breck Shea for no reason told him to F off. And it was all this on camera. And the ref just did like a double take. He was like, "Am I about to give this guy a second yellow?" He was like, "Sure." So he gave him 2 yellows in a matter of like 10 seconds. And it was just like
the guy's done.
Breck Shea was just like the Vancouver fans are booing him. They're like, "This guy's an absolute clown." But Josie Altidore scored a very nice goal. Took the ball really well in the box, beat a defender, and had an assist. And that's one thing I wanted to... I might have said this in the last episode we did MLS, but it's great just seeing how, for the national team players, they are amongst the goals and assists each week, and they are all contributing for their clubs, and...
They should be, man. They should be.
Well, they should be, and they
Sorry,
are.
I'm laughing at
good.
Sam is making a motion.
Yeah, Sam's sick, isn't he? All right, DC United 0, Columbus 2. DC United has yet to score a goal this season.
Dude, CJ Trammell.
Yeah,
is he still gonna have a job?
Yeah, the club might dissolve, but Luciano Acosta came back from injury, which is huge. Columbus scored 2 penalties. So, Mike, did you know that Higuain's brother plays for the Columbus Crew?
Yeah, I know. What's his first name, though?
Federico. He's like an attacking mid. He's nice. He's a good player. But do you think Higuain watches his brother play for Columbus when he's over in Juventus? Like when Columbus was in the final 2 years ago, is Gonzalo...
Yeah, he probably had a big dumb yellow jersey on, and he was like in his hotel room or whatever.
I bet he just makes fun of his brother.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he probably gets it online. I don't know. And dude, probably do. I mean, I watch everything my brother or sister do. I'd support it.
I want to get into it. I want to get an MLS take from Higuain. But Orlando 2.
Next pod.
Orlando, yeah, we're gonna have Higuain on the next episode. But Orlando 2, Union 1. Kyle Larin scores a brace.
Scored a last-minute goal. Was it last 5 minutes?
Pretty late, yeah. 3 goals so far in the season. He's definitely North America's best striker. It's a shame he's playing for Canada, not the United States, because he's the truth.
He looks good. That field looks good. It's so nice to watch on TV.
Yeah, the purple.
Yeah.
Under the lights. We were watching it. Was it Friday night or?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sick. The stadium looks so crazy. FC Dallas 2, New England 1. Max Arruti scored a late brace.
How many about Charlie Davis doing? Is he still on the squad?
On New England?
Yeah.
I believe so, but they are in dire shape. Okay. They suck. Hey, Robert Kraft, invest some money into the other team in Boston, son. But Sporting KC 2, San Jose 1. Benny. If you guys haven't seen this goal, YouTube Benny Philhaber goal from this weekend.
So this is 24 hours after he just got snubbed by the U.S. national team. Dax McCarthy gets a call up ahead of him, and Benny just goes out there, just scores an absolute golazo.
Absolute golazo.
Against Chris Wondolowski, who gets a call up, San Jose's.
So Benny bangs one. Graham Zusi had an assist as well. Shout out to our lovely national team players. And then the nightcap game on Sunday, rounding the weekend up. Sounders 3, Red Bulls 1. Bradley Wright Phillips grabs the one for the Rebels. And J-Mo and Dempsey, both on the score sheet for the Sounders.
Dempsey scored a penalty, but I think his all-round play is just like he hasn't been away. Is that 2 goals so far in 3 games?
Yeah, 2 goals in his first 3.
Guys, I'm watching the Philhaber goal right now.
Let's get
live reaction.
Live reaction. All right.
Oh,
that was sick.
Goalkeeper doesn't move, right?
No, it doesn't move at all.
Benny.
Oh, he's so into like being defiant, isn't he?
Like his features.
I'm the man.
He's a good-looking young man.
That was nice. That was Beckham esque. Kind of just sort of curled it. Like that was nice.
Yeah. But so that wraps up the MLS this week. Yeah, caught a few games.
Thanks, Uncle Connor.
Most a lot of them,
but yeah, I mean, a big week for the U.S. men's national team this week.
Yeah, what do you guys want? Do you want to get into it now, or should we do a? Do you want to do a pre-game pod?
Well, I think we're gonna do the pre-game.
So many. Yeah, go on.
Well, I think we're gonna try to do a pre-game episode released before the match, us previewing our thoughts and whatnot. But
because the squad keeps changing almost every day.
The squad has changed again.
Well, there's a lot of injuries, which is worrying for the national team. I know Bobby Wood has picked up an injury. He's definitely out of the 2 games with a back
Johnson
injury,
looks
right?
like he's out.
Yep. Sasha Klesson replaced him. Matt Beasler's been called into the camp. And then, Mike, you said Wondolowski's been called in?
Yeah.
So that's
Kevin
happened
Johnson's
since we
out.
started recording this episode, but apparently Wando's in.
Which I'm just, can I take back my big reaction? I like Wando. He's whatever. It's fine. I mean,
Okay, why? Obviously, his miss against Belgium was a big miss.
That's not why.
Why do Americans have a hatred against Chris Wondolowski? Because he's one of the most consistent goal scorers in the MLS. I know it's for San Jose, but he is a old-fashioned center forward. He's a great finisher. He's proven that, and he's obviously not a starter for the national team.
You want the truth?
Yeah, I want the truth.
He's a boring white guy. He's not fast. He's just not. It's just nothing. Like I'm just sort of like, all right, I don't know. Like,
remember,
Jordan Moore just excites me so much more than
there's nothing.
Well, you just love speed. You just love speed.
Yeah, I love speed.
And there was a guy in he played for
Keanu
England,
Reeves.
a guy called Teddy Sheringham. You probably hated him. One of the smartest centre forwards ever to put on an England jersey. But his 100-meter speed probably was about 30 seconds.
I don't mind. I don't mind someone slow. Like, remember the guy who played for United, Berbatov. Mm-hmm. Remember how slow he was?
Mm-hmm.
But how good he was. I mean, he had a couple of really nice seasons. I don't mind someone like that. I mean, Dempsey's not fast at all. You know, I just don't. I know something about Wando. Like, we beat him up for the Belgium thing, and he gets beat up. It's totally, it is.
It was such a hard
unwarranted.
chance as well. It was a really hard chance.
It's unwarranted to beat him up. I take it back. I take back my sigh, and I have no problem if he even starts. Him and Altidore start up top, but I don't think that'll be. He's a good finisher. As long as Pulisic and Nagbe are out on that field, and Bradley in front of the back 4, I think we're probably going to take this game.
Right.
Oh, I never read off the Portland game. Portland won 3-2. Faneto Addy among the goals. Nagbe had a
4-2, right?
Was it 4?
Yeah, it's 4-2.
4-2. Finished up against the Houston Dynamo.
Yeah.
But
they were losing as well, 2-1. I think.
Nagbe had a nice little assist.
So who do you think's going to be Golden Boot? Addo everyone's saying him or Nagbe just having a great start to the season. I know we previewed the season and we wanted
Nagby's not going to win Golden Boot.
Nagby's not going to
No, not Golden Boot. Addo to win Golden Boot.
Oh, Addy?
Yeah.
Oh,
Addy.
yeah, Addy. No, Addy could definitely win the Golden Boot. I wonder if he'll ever get a European look, because he's a large man that can score some nice goals.
I think Portland are stacked. I think that considering their season last season, they brought in that Guzman guy from Saprissa, DP player, and I think the spine of Portland is a.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out the Golden Boot because it's all about injuries, and I think that's another thing I'd like to talk about. Why the MLS doesn't take? They need to shut the league down for the international friendlies. They need to stop this because the league still continues. Correct?
This weekend.
No, this weekend's off.
Oh, they did. They're all taking this weekend off. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. My bad. Sorry, MLS. But don't they do that during the summer? Or for the Gold Cup, I guess.
The Gold Cup they keep playing through. But this one they're off. But I think as far as the match on Friday goes...
Can we edit that part out?
No.
Well, I think we're going to drop a preview episode, but would you guys want to just talk about the players that were called up and just our initial thoughts on that? Or I can read the roster out real quick?
No, we'll do a preview episode on that. We can talk about the England call-up a little bit if you want, and the state of the England national team and how shit they're going to do against Germany. And
it's Wednesday, correct?
Yeah, it's this Wednesday. I think England changed their clock, so it's a 2:45 kickoff Eastern time. Last time we went to Germany, we won. We had the likes of Harry Kane playing. We had Eric Dyer playing. We had a stacked Tottenham team, and we were... I think 2-0 down that game, came back to win 3-2, a great performance. Jack Butland broke his leg in that game and he's still out. England's goalkeeper for Stoke City, he just can't get healthy for some reason. That was, I think, a year and a half ago, 18 months ago. I think it was 12 months ago we played in Germany. Well, I don't know why we're playing again in Germany, but it's going to put us to the test. Old man Defoe up front. Weakened side. I know Nathan Redmond, the two Southampton boys, James Ward-Prowse get their first call-ups. Antonio for West Ham's called out.
You must be hype about the Nathan Redmond call-up. Sam's a big Redmond guy.
I said he was the best player in the world 2 pods ago.
He did.
He's great. But I don't know how this game's going to go. We have Lithuania at home in a World Cup qualifier a few days later. It's just sad, Mike. It's really sad. And I know we had Paul Wheatley on the show a few episodes ago, and it's just the state of the team it's very concerning right now. And the players we're kind of calling up, Redmond and James Ward-Prowse fully deserve their call-ups, but the overall unit of the England side is nothing to get excited about. Did
Rooney get a call-up?
Huh?
Rooney get a call-up?
He's injured. And this week, Harry Kane has been named captain, England captain. So I don't know what that's going to do for... England's future.
Barkley get a call up?
Who?
Barkley.
Ross Barkley. Did he get a call up? Yeah, I think he got a call up. He's in the squad. We should do some research before. Yeah, we should.
But the whole last 10 minutes of this pod is just going to can we tell? Let's tell the audience it's 11:45 at night. We're hitting the wall here. Yeah.
It is, and we've had a really busy week, Connor and I know you've been busy down there, and it's been St. Patrick's Day, but I know we're running out of time as well, but let's pray for these Brazilian professional footballers. Let's get ready for these upcoming qualifiers. I know you're very, very excited. These are 2 huge games I think since you've been following soccer, these are probably the 2 most important qualifiers, would you say, for the USA national team?
No, the one against Honduras.
Yeah, the one in Honduras. That's the biggest
qualifier 2014
ever.
Where Donovan hit the free kick.
Yeah.
That was probably the biggest one. Where you had, remember, you could only get it on a Honduras TV weird. Remember that was the night people drove hours and hours and hours away.
Oh, we had to call some dodgy guy from Potsdam to order a box, and he drove down with this box. He's like, oh, just make sure you. Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, it was the Honduran government owned it, and therefore you had to buy it from them. And a weird guy had to drop it off, and then we had people driving from Buffalo, from way northern New Hampshire.
We were one of
4 or 5 hours.
One of 4 bars in the whole country to show it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And then that was probably the biggest because if we didn't, there might have been one more game after that, right, Connor? But I'm pretty sure, I'm not really sure, but I know that it was it was getting down to the wire. That was October before, 2013.
Well, I will say,
but USA were never in this kind of position at the beginning of a qualifying campaign. That was the latter stages.
Yeah. These are important. I mean, I do think we're overstating it. I think even if Klinsmann was in the management, I do think he'd at least get 4 points. You know, whatever squad he would put out there. I think the talent.
It's really hard with the U.S.'s team, just the fact that they are better, to not qualify in CONCACAF. And though we're in a very bad situation right now, it really. I mean, if we lose even one of these games, I think it's time to be concerned. But even right now, it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. And I think it's obviously a huge week, and it's a new era. And if
games at 10:30, right?
10:50 kickoff.
10:50 kickoff.
Eastern time, yeah. It's in California.
The bar's gonna be lit.
That's gonna be fun.
I'm not working either, so I'm going as a patron.
Nice.
Which means
I'll be there.
Should do
I think we should do a preview in the bar, like around 8 o'clock when it's a little bit quiet.
No one's gonna listen to a preview.
I can do that.
No one's gonna listen to the preview though.
Oh yeah, true. We got to release it on Thursday.
That's a good point. Good point.
But anyway, let's stop talking amongst ourselves, and we got to go. But thanks for joining us, everyone. We really appreciate it. Follow us at The Third Touch Twitter account.
Review us on iTunes. We haven't said that in a while. Rate, review, star, click,
even if
comment.
it's a bad review, give us a bad review. It's fine.
Yeah, you can slate us. We suck.
Thanks, Connor.
I like bad reviews.
All right. Anyway, yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We really appreciate it, as always. And hope you enjoy the upcoming qualifiers wherever you are. Thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, later, guys. Bye.
God bless.
The good stuff.